Hello, welcome back. So in the previous example, the last step was determining the maximum bending moment. So we have calculated the maximum bending moment now. Now in the next step, which is the effective depth required to determine the effective depth required as dependent on the maximum bending moment. Now, effective depth, which is required as per maximum bending moment, it is calculated by using this relation. And this M is actually the maximum bending moment, R is the resistance factor, and B is the width of beam. So this formula is actually for the beam, but we are treating slab as a unit strip, which is we are treating that unit strip as a beam. So we can use the same formula for this also. So putting the value here, we put M as the maximum bending moment, which is 6.59 kilonewton meter. So because we need depth in mm, so it means we have to convert this value into the Newton mm, and that is why I have. So we can write this as kilonewton converted into Newton, 10 raised to power 3. Similarly, meter converted into mm, 10 raised to power 3. So we get 6.59 into 10 raised to power 6. Similarly, R value we already calculated in step 1. B is the width of beam, and because we are treating the slab as a unit strip, so this is the value of B, which is 1 meter, and this is the thickness, which is the overall depth of the slab. So that is why here B value will be 1000 mm. Now solving this, we get the value of D required as 85.10, and here you can see this 85.10 is the depth which is required to resist the maximum bending moment, and it is less than the value of D provided. In the second step, we have provided D as 106 mm. So you can see this value is higher than the required value, which means we are on the safer side, and that means the thickness of slab we have estimated in the second step is fine. So now moving to the next step. Now as we have calculated the bending moment in step 6, we will now calculate the reinforcement which will be required to resist those bending moment. Now, reinforcement here will be provided in the three form. Reinforcement will be provided along the shorter span, and we represent that reinforcement will be as ASTX, A for area, ST for steel, X for X direction. So AST, area of steel in X direction, which means the shorter dimension, and the area of reinforcement, it will resist the bending moment MX. Similarly, in the slab, bending moment My is also existing. So to resist that My bending moment, we will calculate area of steel along the Y direction also. So the reinforcement to resist Mx and My, they will be treated as the main reinforcement. Now, beside these two reinforcement, we will also provide the temperature or distribution reinforcement also. So we will see, so basically in the reinforcement calculation, we will be designing main reinforcement for shorter and longer span, and also calculating the distribution reinforcement. Now, sorry. So first we will calculate the main reinforcement along the shorter span to resist the bending moment Mx. Now to calculate the ASTX, we already know the formula to calculate the ASTX, which will be Mx by sigma st into J provided, J into D provided. So D provided we will be using here. D provided is 106 mm. So as I am making here that this is the slab, and the first layer of reinforcement will be this one, and the second layer of the reinforcement will be lying on this one. So this is the top layer, and this one is the bottom layer. So bottom layer of reinforcement will be along the shorter span, which means ASTX will be the bottom reinforcement. And the effective span for this reinforcement will be, it will be measured from the center of the reinforcement to the topmost of the slab, which is the D provided. So putting all the values, we get mx as 6.59 into 10 raised to power 6. Again, we will be required ASTX into mm square. So therefore, all the values should be in Newton and mm. So solving this, we get the value of ASTX as 300.34 mm square. Now this area is for unit strip. So here in the slab, generally we don't count the total number of reinforcement. Generally, in case of slab, we provide reinforcement as per the spacing. So therefore, we will now calculate the spacing of main reinforcement along the shorter span. And the formula for spacing is A phi. A phi is the area of cross section of one bar divided by area of steel along the x direction and whole multiplied by the 1000. Why? Because we are calculating spacing in the unit strip, because this is the slab with the unit strip. So if we provide reinforcement, say this is the slab. So if we provide reinforcement along the span, so we generally don't count the number. We generally find out what is the spacing between the reinforcement. Sorry, I think, yes. So in this case, generally reinforcement here we are calculating like this. So what will be the spacing between these reinforcement? That is what we are required to find out. So that is the formula, and putting the value. Now A phi is the area of cross section of one bar. Now for this, we are required to find out the dia of bar that we are going to use in our beam. Sorry, I mean in the slab. So that is what I have already calculated in the second step. We have assumed the dia of bar to get the value of effective span. Sorry, effective cover. Sorry, actually. So A phi is the area of cross section. So here the dia of bar will be 8 mm dia. So putting the value here, which is pi d square by 4, that is the A phi multiplied by 1000 divided by ASTX, we get the spacing as 167.34. Well, this is the spacing that we have calculated. IS code also have recommended the minimum spacing for the main reinforcement, and it is actually recommended in this clause. So you can go to the clause and refer to this clause. You can check the recommended value of the spacing. So as per this clause, the spacing of the main reinforcement should be the least of first the calculated value that we have just calculated, which is 36 mm. Second is 3 times the effective depth. Now 3 times the effective depth means d provided multiplied by 3, and that is 318 mm. So that is the second recommendation of IS code. Now third recommendation is the 300 mm. So we have now 3 values of the spacing. Which one we should adopt? We will adopt only the least one. So the least value is 167.36. Now in the field, when we draw the drawing, generally we don't write the exact value of spacing. Generally we round off this spacing to the lower side. Now why we are rounding off this value to the lower side? Because if we have less spacing, the number of reinforcement will be more. If we have more spacing, the number of reinforcement required will be less. So therefore, the reinforcement that we are providing will be less than required. And if we take the less spacing, it will be more than required. So that is what we are expecting here. And that is why generally we round off the value to the multiple of 10. And therefore we can write that providing main reinforcement along the shorter span as 8 mm dia at the rate of 160 center to center. So we have round off this 167 to 160, which is on the lower side. Now, as the spacing of the reinforcement is decreased, then because the required spacing is 167 and we have decreased the value, so it means the reinforcement that we are providing, it will be more than required now. But what is the amount of reinforcement that we are providing, that is also required to be known. So here we will now find out the spacing provided. Sorry, I have already written here, as the spacing provided is less than required, area of steel will be more than required, and hence what will be that more area. So now here we will find out area of steel provided. So we will again use the same formula which we have used to calculate the spacing provided. So using the same formula, A phi into 1000 by spacing provided. So now spacing provided is in the denominator. Earlier, when we are required to find out spacing, ASTX was in the denominator. So you can use the same formula to calculate the AST provided. Now putting the A phi value 1000 and spacing provided. Now we have provided this spacing. So putting the value, we get the area of steel provided as 314.19 mm square, while the required was 300.34 mm square. So this is the area of reinforcement provided. Well, why we are calculating this provided area and why it is required? Well, yes, it will be required because in the next step would be to check the deflection of the slab. So generally, the bottom reinforcement and the top reinforcement, they will be something like this. So when the slab is bending, bottom reinforcement will have maximum deflection, and therefore in the deflection check, the amount of bottom reinforcement, their percentage, it is required to check the deflection, to perform the deflection check actually. So therefore now we have calculated the ASTX provided, and we also require to find out the percentage of main reinforcement, because that will be the bottom reinforcement. So we will be performing percentage, we will be calculating percentage of main reinforcement also, and percentage of reinforcement will be ASTX, it is the area of steel provided, divided by the cross sectional area B into effective depth multiplied by 100. So we get the percentage of steel as 0.3%. So these two values along with the required ASTX we will be using in step 9. So now similarly we will now calculate the value of ASTY, which is the main reinforcement along the longer span. So again using the same formula, but this time M will be replaced by My, and here D provided is not used. In place of that we are using D dash. Now what is D dash, that we will see. Well, as I said, that say for example this is our slab and this is the bottom layer of the reinforcement and this is the top layer. So this bottom layer will be laid along the shorter span. So this was our AST X. Now this one, it will be our AST Y. So for the AST Y, as it is on the top of bottom, so the effective depth for this will be measured from its center. So this will be our D dash, while the D provided is measured from this reinforcement, from the center of this. This was our D provided. So therefore, D dash will be D provided half of this dia and half of this dia. So we will assume that the dia of this bar and the bottom bar both will be same. So therefore 4 we will take from the lower bar and 4 we will take from the upper bar. So it will be 8 mm actually. So this becomes 106 minus 8. This becomes 98 mm. So that is the effective depth for the top bar, for the top reinforcement. So this is actually ASTY, it is actually the top layer. Okay. So now putting the value of D dash, well, here also I have calculated. Now putting the value of D dash, here we put all the values. My value is 2.48 that we have calculated in step 6. So putting all the value, we get ASTY as 122.25 mm square. So that is the amount of steel that we are going to provide along the longer span. Now spacing of main reinforcement, again, as we have done in the, sorry, it will be, yes, spacing of main reinforcement for the shortest, sorry, it will be the longer, it should be the longer, because we are providing ASTY along the longer span. So spacing we will calculate by using the same formula, but here it will be ASTY, sorry, it is ASTX, it is not ASTX, it will be ASTY. So putting the ASTY, this one here, so we get the value of spacing for ASTY will be 411. So this is the value of spacing for this reinforcement. Well, again, we have to check this spacing for the IS code recommendation, like we have done in the main reinforcement for shorter span. So again, we will use the same clause, and this clause says that main reinforcement should be the least of the calculated value 3 times of the effective thickness. So here the effective thickness is basic. This is actually the D dash, because this we are calculating this for the ASTY reinforcement. So D dash we are putting here, and we get the value of spacing in this case as 294. Third one is 300. So this time the lesser value will be this one. So again we have to round off this value to the lower side, and in the multiple of 10. So we get the value of, we provide the main reinforcement as 8 mm dia bar at the rate of 290 center to center, and it is actually the top layer. Similarly, now we will calculate the distribution reinforcement. Now, why do we provide this distribution reinforcement? I think I have already discussed that, but here also I have written. Distribution reinforcement are also considered as the secondary reinforcement, and we provide in the slab to resist the secondary effects like the shear stress, shrinkage effect, crack development. So all these effects are generally resisted by providing the secondary reinforcement. So now, as per IS code, what should be the quantity of this secondary reinforcement? This is what IS code has recommended in this clause number 26.5.2.1. So as per this clause, the distribution reinforcement provided in the slab should not be less than 0.12% of the total cross-sectional area when HYSD bar are used. So in case of HYSD bar, it will be 0.12%, and in case of MS bar, it will be 0.15%. So we have to check that what is the grade of steel that we are using, and depending on the grade of steel, the quantity of distribution reinforcement will also change. So as we are using HYSD bar, which is Fe415, for this distribution reinforcement quantity will be 0.12% of the total cross-sectional area. So here the total cross-sectional area will be B into overall depth. Again, you can see the slab. So this is the B and this is the D. So B is the unit length, unit width, actually it is 1 meter or 1000 mm. So putting the value here, we get the quantity of area of steel for distribution reinforcement as 168 mm square. 168 mm square. So this is the value for the area of steel for the distribution reinforcement. Now we have to find out the spacing of distribution reinforcement also, and the spacing will be calculated using the same formula. Here it should be AST distribution. It will be AST distribution. Now putting the value here, we get the value of AST distribution, I mean value of spacing for the distribution reinforcement as 299.25. So again we have to round off this, sorry, but first of all we have to check this. So checking this, as per IS code, the spacing of, sorry, it should be spacing of distribution reinforcement. Distribution reinforcement. So spacing of distribution reinforcement should be the least of. Now, the recommendation for distribution reinforcement is different than the main reinforcement. Like in the main reinforcement, the recommendation was 3 times of effective thickness provided. Here, the recommendation is 5 times. 5 times of effective thickness, which is 5 into D provided, which means 5 into 106, and it becomes 530 mm. In case of main reinforcement, it was 3 times of D. In case of distribution, it becomes 5 times of D. So this is the difference that IS code has provided in this clause. So you can read this clause in the IS code. Similarly, the third value is 450. Now for main reinforcement, it was 300. For the distribution, it is 450. So that is the difference also provided there. So in these three values, the least value is 299.25. And again, we have to round off this value to the lower side, and the round off value becomes 290. So this time also we will write that providing, it will be providing the distribution reinforcement along the longer as well as along the shorter span, it will be 8 mm dia at the rate of 290 center to center. So this is the reinforcement calculation that we have done so far. Now in the next step, we will check our slab. Sorry, this is B. We will check our slab for deflection criteria as per IS code. So deflection criteria is also mentioned in the IS code in this clause. I will show you this clause in the IS code. So this is the clause, this one, and it says the vertical deflection limit may generally be assumed to be satisfied provided that the span to depth ratio are not greater than the values obtained as below. Now for cantilever, it is 7. For simply supported, it is 20. For continuous, it is 26. Because our slab is simply supported, so we will consider this one. So it says, again read this, span to depth ratio, which means now here which span we are going to take, because the maximum bending moment is along the shorter span, and therefore we will take the shorter span, which is LX. Now LX becomes the span to depth. What is the depth? Depth is the D provided. It says that now it should be less than this ratio is not greater, it should be less than 20. So this ratio should be less than 20. Now also in the C point, because we are providing tension reinforcement in the slab, so it says depending on the area and the stress of steel for tension reinforcement, the values in A, the values in A or B is for the span having span above 10 meters. So this is not our case. So we will consider only A. So values in A shall be modified by multiplying with the modification factor, which is obtained in the figure 4. Now I will show you the figure 4. So which means I'm writing here Lx by D provided, it should be less than modification factor multiplied by 20. So this 20 we have got from here. Now this MF we will get from point C, which is dependent on the tension reinforcement, and it is also dependent on the figure. Now what is the figure that we will see in the next page, which is figure 4. So figure 4 is this one. So this is the figure that we are going to use to calculate the modification factor. In this figure, you can see this is the percentage tension reinforcement, this is the modification factor, and this is the value of Fs. So first we will calculate the Fs value. So Fs value will be putting in the formula, and then uh, depending on the curve, we will find out the value of modification factor. So we will be doing that. So first we will go to the slide, and there we will calculate the value of Fs, and then we will calculate the value of modification factor. So here, this is the thing, effective length, which is Lx actually, it is actually Lx. Lx by D should be less than or equals to 20 times of MF1. MF1 is the modification factor, which is calculated using the figure 4 that I have just shown you in the IS code. And for MF1, we need to find out Fs value. Now, Fs value is calculated by this formula. In this, we have to find out ASTX required at midspan, so that we have calculated in the previous step. So now I will show you the ASTX required and provided. Yes, so this was the AST provided, and yes, so this is the value of ASTX required. So we will use this value and provided value, and the percentage of steel which we have just calculated. This value will also be used to calculate the value of MF1. So now I will go to there. So here, putting the value, that is ASTX required divided by ASTX provided, and Fy value is dependent on the grade of steel. We are using HYSD bar. So for the HYSD bar, the value is 415. By chance, if we are using MS bars, the Fy value will be 250. So in our case, it will be 415. So calculating it, we get the value of Fs as 229.83 Newton per mm square. Percentage of main reinforcement along the shorter span, it will be 0.3%. It should be short. Now we have all the values. Now we will look at the diagram. It is 229, approximately 230. Now I'm again going to the IS code, and then I will show you the value. Yes, so percentage of steel is somewhere here. Similarly, the curve, the Fs curve will be between 240 and 290. Our value is 230. So it will be somewhere here. So moving this curve along the 240, it is going something like this. Similarly, if we project the curve along with the 0.3 percentage, it will go somewhere like this. So the value something it will look like here. It will be around 1.5. So we will follow this process to calculate the value of modification factor. So corresponding to this, we will have modification factor 1.5. So now again going to the slide. Yes, so here the modification factor so found it is 1.5, and it is actually the approximate value. So there is no need to find out correct. We cannot find out the exact value. So therefore we will just use the process and calculate the modification factor approximately. Now putting the value in the same equation. So this becomes Lx by D provided. It should be less than the product of 20 into modification factor 1. Now calculating it, we get this one. You can see this value is less than this, and this is what we are required to find out. So this we can say slab is safe in deflection criteria. So once the slab is safe in the deflection criteria, we will now make the reinforcement sketch for the slab. So we will go to the next slide to check the reinforcement sketch. So this is the reinforcement sketch. This is the plan and the section along YY, this is section YY. So this is the section which is exactly projected, the reinforcement detail. Similarly, section XX, this one, this is projected here. And the detail of reinforcement, we will see here now. First reinforcement is our main reinforcement, which is the bottom reinforcement. So you can see in the section, the green reinforcement, this one is our bottom reinforcement, which is, you can see here, this is on the bottom. And this pink reinforcement is the top layer, which is along the longer span, which is this one, you can see here. And this is above the top, which is shown as this dot. Okay. And also these reinforcement are bent up, alternately bent up. So you can see when one reinforcement is going like this, it is bent up on this direction. The second reinforcement is going like this and it is bent up on the other direction. Similarly, next reinforcement will go like this and bent up on this. So this is the process, this will go on. So this green reinforcement is provided up to here. So this arrow is showing that this green reinforcement will be like this up to here and like this. So this is the green reinforcement. Similarly, the pink reinforcement, it is along the longer span and it is again the main reinforcement, and it will be provided along the shorter span like this. So this I have just shown two reinforcement only, but these reinforcement will be laid along the shorter span over the full span up to this one. Similarly, now we have distribution reinforcement also. You can see when the green reinforcement is bent up. So above the bent up part, there are these three reinforcement, and here also these three reinforcement. Similarly, in this case also, this one, these are the distribution reinforcement, and they are representing using the orange color bar. So this orange color bar is actually showing the distribution bar, and it will be laid between this span only. So 1, 2, and 3. So basically total 3 bars are there. So similarly here also, this distribution bar is provided on here. Similarly, this distribution bar is provided up to this length, this one. Similarly, this reinforcement is provided from this to this length in between this one. So this is what we have represented in this sketch. So you are supposed to make the similar sketch for the exercise problem. So also the bent up length, the length at what length we have bent up this bar. So that length is Lx by 7 in the along the longer span, and along the shorter span also it is Lx by 7, and it is as per the reinforcement detail. So that is the sketch. So this completes our solution of this design example. Thank you.